everybody. Welcome to Unfiltered and Intentional. I want to say first off, before we do anything and we start talking about current events and what we've missed and what we haven't missed, I want to say happy birthday to
Happy birthday! Yay!
28, guys.
Yes,
28. Don't forget that.
Look 22.
Yes, yes. Well, you can clearly see she is enjoying her life.
Yes,
In the backdrop there, it looks beautiful from what we can see. So thank you for taking the opportunity, Ty, for blessing us with your beautiful smile and your presence. But happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. But once again, hey everybody, I know we came in late, but we're going to talk about the same great topics that we normally do, and keeping them coming. But before we go into all that, Ty, can you let everybody know what they should do?
Hello. No, let me you guys know the routine. If you love what we do, support what we do, like, subscribe, and share. YouTube and our Facebook group have some great conversations. We love you guys. We love the support. Thank you.
Yes. So today we are going to be talking about some topics. We're going to be talking about some current events that's been going on. But before we even get into that, as you know, like last year, people are celebrating for the month of Gay Pride awareness and these different things. Well, June the 28th, 1969, the Stonewall riots were a series of spontaneous demonstrations by members of the gay community in response to the police raid that began in that early morning of hours of June the 28th, 1969, in the Stonewall Inn in Greenwich Village, New York. So definitely we want to show a love to our LGBTQ. I hope I didn't forget all the letters. Oh my God.
IA.
All the letters. How about that? The whole thing, the rainbow thing. We want to show love. Yeah, we love everybody. You. Nothing but love. And just we always have your back, and we just want to just show that out there and just give some representation for that. But moving along from the current events, I want to kind of talk about the sad part now and then kind of build it in steps. So I definitely want to talk about the Florida building that collapsed in Sunrise, Florida. It's tragic. Right now, currently, they have found 9 dead.
Yep.
And 150 some odd people are still missing. And that is terrible. Because now it happened Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And when it happened Thursday, today's Sunday, and families and friends and relatives and these different things, no one knows what's happening with their loved ones, and they're literally standing by just waiting to hear something. And God only knows, what these families are going through. Just to kind of give a little update, it says a search and rescue keep continuing, looking for the survivors of a Florida condo building. Unfortunately, they were saying that an engineer had mentioned many years ago that the building was unstable. They said that they're already starting to get their lawyers and lawyering up because somebody's getting sued for this. Go ahead, Liz. Yeah.
Sued. I think that's not the right outcome of that. I mean, how do you pay for 150 something lives? Like what? Sued. If you knew and you were told that there was damage to the foundation, the structure itself, that it was unsafe and unsound, and you had hundreds and hundreds of people, you're talking about 12 stories. In effect, it's like 3 towers that are joined together. So the middle one collapsed first, and then the one on the side, when the other one is still sort of standing, maybe. Mm-hmm. How do you know that there's that much lives at risk and decide that it wasn't worth the dollars to either get everybody out or to fix it? You know what I mean? They said they were still selling condos in there for $600,000-$700,000 each.
Yes. Which is crazy because you think about that. You think about, well, if this building had this type of terrible infrastructures and these different things, and people kind of sweeping it under the rug, what other areas are happening? You know, who else is just kind of buying these condos or buying property, not knowing, because we're not engineers. We're trusting these agencies to protect us. You know, who's going to pay for this damage of people being lost and loved ones and family members? So it's just so tragic to know, and especially as a family member looking and waiting. They had to interview some family members, and they were just saying like, hey, why are you moving so slow? But then you had other first responders and commenting saying like, we have to strategically pull back that rubble, because you can move one block and the rest of the blocks come in.
Right.
All types of things. And they say it's like a pancake crush, the way it was happening.
It went down. It just went down. Just
Compared to something leaning to the side. So you have a port or a pocket of some air or these things. So God knows what we're going to find. I'm hoping that they happen to activate the National Guard or something, just to get more help, maybe some dogs that sniff. I don't know. I just hope they do something, because it's just very tragic what's going on. But that leads into this infrastructure plan that Biden and the rest of the of the clan.
Can you elaborate on that? Could bring me up to speed really, really quick.
So basically, Biden's trying to pass an infrastructure plan. This past week, President Biden unveiled his American Jobs Plan, proposing a nearly $2.3 trillion investment in our national infrastructure. A game-changing investment of this size is modernizing our infrastructure and fighting the effects of climate change is a necessary step, he says. Basically, you know, as we always do, we pass these bills, or try to pass these bills, and we throw a whole bunch of other stuff attached to it. Liz would say, no, you need to take that away. You would say, yes, you need to add it and add some more. And we can't seem to get on the same fucking page. And it just pisses me the fuck off, because who suffers? The American people. Regardless if you're Republican, Independent, Democrat, you don't believe in none of that shit, it's still affecting you. And guess what? Look what just happened when it came to the whole this building collapsing. Not saying that these were roads and highways, but we've had situations where bridges have failed and crumbled. I mean, we don't even have a fast train system. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
This is the unfiltered part of the show, Todd. Unfiltered.
Listen, it's my birthday. I heard infrastructure, and then we don't have a fast train.
No, I mean, just on a repeat, at the end of the day, we are so behind. I mean, just as much as America is number one, and we just, you know, have this big, you know, cadence that we are number one on everything. When it comes to these different things, we are like number 29. Like, when it comes to the infrastructure of our buildings and our railroads and our bridges, shit is crumbling at the seams.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, they're only thinking about the monetary aspect of it. We all know this, right? It's money over lives. That's just the way they do. I mean, from the top to the bottom. It's sad. It's really, really sad, because these people had to, like, you know, go and circling back, even with the infant, again, not knowing full detail with Biden and what was taken out and put in, but who does it ever really benefit?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny when you said that, because a comment came in. Infrastructure, these people can't even fix potholes.
Yeah, say it again.
It's true. And
right.
I mean, but the ideology, the idea of saying, hey, we have to do something is great. How do we implement this, Liz? Like, how can we get everybody on board instead of putting the me system factor in? I mean,
we have to stop to get everybody on board. Like we just did. I mean, the time for talking passed. That was yesterday or some other day. It's just time to start doing stuff. And I mean, it's not just on Biden. It's every mayor, every governor, every city commissioner. Everybody needs to get to work, or they need to go home. Everybody does. I mean, this is nonsense. I mean, like Humble Lion just mentioned, you know, a pothole. How long does it take to get a pothole fixed?
Yeah.
I mean, and we've all seen it, and no matter where and we all happen to live in different cities and in different states. I mean, a pothole is ridiculous. I have a oh God, I can't even think of it. Where there should be an intersection. Good God, help me. There's an intersection, not right by where I work. That for the life of me, I don't understand why it's not a 4-way stop sign. There's at least one major accident there every 45 days or so. How long does it take to get a stop sign?
Wow.
A stop sign. Like what would it, how many people need to be paralyzed, killed? Like what would it take to get a stop sign, let alone a pothole or a bridge or just start doing stuff? I mean, I'm about to go put a stop sign there myself. Just
Yeah.
we need to start figuring out where that money is going. They have budget lines that they go through where they are supposed to have a certain amount of money in the bank and under that budget line for A, B, C, and D.
Mm-hmm.
We get funding, again, you got your spend down at where is the money?
Well, the question I have, are we going to blame where blaming is due, like the Joe Mansons of the I'm sorry for you rolling your eyes.
Let me fix my eyes. Let me unroll my eyes. I'm sorry.
You do have those politicians who are like, hey, we gotta, let's try to negotiate and just try to, want to hold hands. But do we honestly have time for that?
No.
I honestly think while we're trying to negotiate, quote unquote, the Republicans are like, okay, yeah, our turn's coming up next. I mean, this seems like this might be a bill that's going to end up going down the drain because we're just sitting on it and lives are being lost, literally.
What jobs are they creating?
Well, the creation of jobs, meaning the construction workers, the engineers, the laborers, the people out there putting the plans together and these things. So, of course, if they had this big plan, this bill that they're trying to pass, this will indirectly, bring these jobs on. I mean, but at the end of the day, it seems as if it makes logical sense to us, but for some reason up in political land, it doesn't seem to come together the way it should.
I mean, but Kia, you mentioned right there, we're supposed to be number one. We sold the number one spot to the highest bidder long time ago. And then we sold number 2. And then we sold number 3. That's how you end up at 29. And trust me when I tell you, let somebody come and offer the right person the right amount of money, we'll be at 33, 45, 110. I mean, and that's what it is. We stopped even trying to be number one. I mean, what are we number one at other than obstruction?
Well,
we're good at that too. But other than that,
but here's the thing. So when you think of the infrastructure plan and bringing jobs and stuff, you're thinking that it's going to create wealth and more jobs for their people, for white America as well, because they're the ones who are in charge of the unions and the labor, and all that.
Whoever gets the bid out and daddy's company they bring in
profit. And so it's like, okay, I mean, you would think you would do this for your own people, Okay.
No, it's about power. Honestly, if you really want to get to the root of the problem, we need to restructure just government in the way that it's set up. You should have, a term limit, 8 years to make a difference, and then you can go. And if we had term limits, we'd get stuff done. But instead, it's how long can I stay here? You have people that have been in the Senate since long before we were born.
No, it's true.
Before we were born, like, I mean, we're gonna have grandkids, and the same old people are gonna still be in the Senate. That's kind of, it's silly. Of course, their whole job is holding on to their job. They do not care that you're not working. As a matter of fact, the more miserable you are, the more you're not likely to pay attention, not likely to vote, not likely to have anything to say or to care anymore, because you feel like what they're doing doesn't affect me anyway, because they're not doing anything.
You know what's so interesting before we go on to the next topic, which was like, wow. So last week, I was out and about celebrating my birthday, and we were having interesting conversations all through the week. And it was very interesting to meet people, to hang out with people, to associate with people where they're just so over it. Politics in general. Like, I don't give a fuck what is happening. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to be bothered. And it's like, well, wow. And I understand this subject can be so overwhelming. It can be tiresome. It can be this, but it's like, we cannot give up. If we give up, then what the fuck? Like we got to be able to fight the struggle somehow, some way. But it was really interesting to see how many people are just like, yeah, this shit can kick rocks. I don't care. Infrastructure, what? Infrastructure, my house. We ain't doing nothing. We don't want to talk about it. So it was really, really interesting where everything is with that. We have a lot of happy birthday shout outs just to show you real quick. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. We don't care about cancer season, but we do love her birthday.
Wow. Damn, yes, love you.
Here we got a couple other comments here. You want to read them, Ty?
Humble Lion, this is why America is being destroyed on purpose. Give me control of a nation's money and I care not who makes it laws. Ooh.
Oh, thank you for that quote.
Thank
you for
that. Cash money. I agree with term limits. We need people going there, not worrying about getting reelected, but getting things done.
Yeah. If we had more people like that who are just serious about, let's just get this shit done. I don't care if I get reelected. This is what my job is for this year. Let's throw caution to the wind. I think we could definitely get some things accomplished, but we need that mindset. And it doesn't seem like they're willing to push the envelope. Just changing the subject real quick, since we're on politics.
Speed dating for topics.
Yeah.
Justice Department is suing Georgia over state's new voting law. So just to give an update on that, the Justice Department is suing Georgia over the new state's election law, alleging Republican state lawmakers rushed through a sweeping overhaul with an intent to deny Black voters equal access to the ballot. Where we believe the civil rights of Americans have been violated, we will not hesitate to act, Attorney General Garland said on Friday's announcing about their lawsuit. Republican lawmaker in the state pushed back immediately, pledging a forceful defense of Georgia's law. My question for you guys is, why did it take him so long to even do a lawsuit? I mean, they've been doing shit. Arizona has been doing their own recount secretly with some God knows who these people are. Like,
oh wait, didn't who was it? A Republican voted. They found out he voted twice.
Yes, that just happened. They found out a Republican
Liz.
Also, to add to that, the Biden's administration move comes 2 weeks after Garland said his department would scrutinize new laws in Republican-controlled states that tighten voting rules. He said that the federal government would take action if prosecutors found unlawful activity. The unfortunate thing about this is, even if he said, wait a second, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, blah, 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 I see you guys got some things that are just not working right. Guess what? We have a Supreme Court that's going to be like, sit back down. We're not listening to a damn thing you have to say. So for the look, the optics of it, oh yeah, that's right, Justice Department. You better get in there, kick those people's asses. But are we really going to be kicking any asses if the Supreme Court is like, they're okay? Because when they passed the laws to begin with, I think they probably had some type of consultation with the lawmakers or their friends.
No, the back door. Listen, it went smoking cigarettes, cigars, and taking shots, or where the deals are actually made. They're never really, come on. It's not rocket science. We know how it goes. You get in where you fit in. The top wants the power. They want to keep the power. Again, friends and family are, they have a hand in this. Who really benefits at the end of the day?
Do you feel, go ahead, Liz, go ahead.
I mean, the thing about our justice system in general is that it is meant to be reactive and not preventive, right? And on the one hand, we want it to be that way. It can't be, you look like a murderer, so I'm going to arrest you. You know what I mean? You actually have to, murder somebody and then they'll arrest you. So that's why I know you asked the question, why did it take so long? Because they could say anything. They could outlaw rainbows, but until a rainbow is affected, you know what I mean? And until somebody actually brings it and says, you know what, I'm representing rainbows, and or whatever it is, right? Until somebody actually brings it and says that this is affecting me, technically you have to almost wait until there's a reaction, right? So you know, anybody can say they want to do anything. It's not, you can want to do anything until it actually happens, and then they react to it. Generally speaking, that's the way our system is set up. So why did it take so long? Because technically no one's been affected by it yet.
Got it.
Technically. But after we have an election and X number of hundreds of thousands of people can stand up and say, well, they turned me away, or I wasn't able to vote because, or last time I could vote and this time I can't. Technically, it's really hard to present a case because all the Republicans are saying is this isn't going to affect anybody. We're just protecting the integrity of the ballot box. That's their whole argument. Until
this is so frustrating. I'm sorry to interrupt, Ty. This is so frustrating for me because I know for 100% fact, and I don't even know the individuals, that we're going to wait to the last minute. We're going to go ahead and vote. And we're going to be told that you can't do this. You got to do this. This card is not valid. This is this. This is that. And we're going to, oh my God, look what they're doing. Oh my God, the voting laws are crazy, blah, blah, blah. But we know already now, and this is the time to act. This is the time to actually build coalitions and do what you got to do so we can supersede these other things. You know, like I said, the Sunday when they stopped the thing where you could do the voting on the Sunday. You know, do the buses,
to the polls, yeah.
Do it on Saturday. Like it's okay to to go to church on Saturday and meet up everybody so they can go to the voting. You know, let's think outside the box. I mean, because at the end of the day, even though it sounds great, oh wow, they're taking everybody to court. This sounds like they're going to do something. I just know that we don't have the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is not in our side, so. I think this is a losing situation. I think the businesses, I was going to ask you that, Liz, how do you feel about the businesses chiming in and like, okay, well, wait a second. If you're doing these things, we're not going to do business here in your state. How do you feel about that?
The inconsistency is ridiculous, right? And so I'm just going to move it out of Georgia to Florida. We have the same laws here.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? And so it sounds good. Like you got up there and beat your chest for a minute, but you didn't really move your business to a more liberal state or a state that's doing it right. I mean, maybe you should just stop giving them money or start funding the people that actually believe in the things that you believe in. But you saying that I'm going to move my building, which you probably already bought your vacation home in Florida, Colorado, or Arizona, or some other ridiculous place. And so now you want to make it more convenient to you, but you're still going to turn around and fund those same politicians. Put up or shut up.
Okay.
Like, I mean, help or get out the way. I mean, but these fake odes and little tributes that they do, they can keep it.
I didn't even think about that. Damn, thank you. Because it's kind of like me saying right now, like, you know what? I'm not going to support this and I'm not going to support that. But at the same time, I'm going to, somebody.
The same thing.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for even mentioning that. I didn't think that. No, and just to hit up the comment real quick, we got, by the way, sister, you are rocking that hat.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, birthday girl.
Yeah.
Thank you, Humble Line, for that. But that's so funny. Just to put it out there, we're not going to talk about it because we don't know too much information. But what just happened a couple of hours ago, President Biden ordered an airstrike on Iran. So I was literally in the middle of cooking dinner and I'm like mixing something up. And I'm like, what? President Biden did who, what? And you know how that is. They'll slip something in real quick, right in the middle of a commercial. You don't know what the hell just happened, just so you could kind of like, oh, and then go about your business. So that should be something to look into. Oh, go ahead.
Really quick, because I only found out about that like 10 seconds before we went live. And I looked it up real quick. So it's not Iran that he ordered the airstrikes on. It's Iran-backed militia groups in Syria. So
okay.
Wait, say
fighting Iran on the Syria side of the border.
Okay. Thank you for that.
So it's Iran-backed militia groups, but it's in Syria. So so
just because that does change the dynamic of this little blurb right here. Thank you for that. But just like that, the little updates are coming in. So just definitely keep your ear out there. So I have a interesting, fun question, but I do want to talk about it. First, we're going to start off. Do you believe in UFOs? And the reason why I'm going to talk about it because the government has been talking about it. So before we get into what the government's talking about and the department and all that, we'll start with
Liz.
Liz. Go ahead. So, do you believe in UFOs, Liz?
Listen, if the UFOs are gonna bring Will Smith out, then bring them on. Sorry, I don't even know where that came from. That's it.
Okay.
Look, you know what? To be honest with you, I've never given it too much thought. That's one of those things that I don't see how that's going to affect me. And if it is that colossal that it's going to affect me, there really ain't shit I can do about it anyway. So let me stick to Earth issues because they're big. So whether they exist or not, it's honestly just something I haven't given a lot of thought to.
Okay. So it's either maybe
they do or they don't.
I'm still planet Earth right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Ty, birthday girl.
You already there.
I know already, but shorten it up so it's not like a whole hour.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I do believe, and I believe that their presence has a huge influence on earthly stuff, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just you said short.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me answer the question, and we'll just kind of do. Do I believe in UFOs? Yes, I do. I believe that we would be arrogant to say that in this huge galaxy, trillions and trillions of galaxies, and all types of stuff that we have no idea exists, shit, even under the sea that we can't even explore. We're the only creatures out there. Of course, there are different types, I would suppose, of unidentified objects, creatures, or whatever that we just have no idea. Anything that's foreign to us would be, I guess, some type of alien because we don't know it to be here. We will go down that rabbit hole, people, and topic to have. We will go down that rabbit hole in depth.
Can we get Will Smith on the? Can we?
Listening. No. Just for people who are listening, let me let you know what the government has to say. Because a lot of times you and I can have our opinions and blah, 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 but is it official? The video is so cloudy. Who to know what's going on? So the U.S. government can't explain. Well, basically, let me just backtrack. When President Trump was in office and they was doing the last COVID bill, one of the things that they put in the bill was for them to have a report on all types of UFO phenomena, that type of thing. Marco Rubio, who we all know who represents Florida, was basically like, I'm tired of it. I don't want to know. I don't want the shenanigans. We're hearing so many, is it real? Is it not? Is it this? Is it that? We want to know. So they gave everybody a deadline. So the report's finally in. So just for people who are like, you know what? I don't believe in it, but let's just hear what the government has to say. So the U.S. government cannot explain 143 out of the 144 cases of identified flying objects reported by military planes, according to a highly anticipated intelligence report released this Friday. That report, released by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, was meant to shed light on the mystery of those dozens of flying objects spotted from 2004 to 2021, but instead said it didn't have adequate data to even put up into a category. Shorthand, basically, they're saying this is something to worry about. This is something that can be deemed as a national security issue. With that being said, Kashim and I use Kashim instead of Cash. We used to go back and forth on this because he was like, okay, UFOs are real. What? I still got to pay my mortgage. I still got to go to work. I still got to do this. What the hell does this have to do with anything? And on one end, I was like, it has a lot to do with stuff. I mean, this would be crazy. And he's like, no, you would still have to do everything. So, of course, that was many years ago. But now moving forward, currently in 2021, I think about it on both ends. On one end, if they do exist, do I still have to go to work? Would I still do the podcast? Yeah. I would still do certain things that I would normally do. But if UFOs were actually to come out and this is what it is, I think it would shake up religion the way we don't know. And when you shake up something that's been indoctrinated in man for trillions of years and billions and all this, that, and the third, people are going to lose their lives because let's take the Quran, let's take the Bhagavad Gita, let's take the Bible, let's take all the different holy scriptures that we know about. It never talks about aliens, monsters, and those type of things. It doesn't talk about flying objects. If you know something that I don't know, Liz, about, hey, in Corinthians 21:2, it says that there is a UFO, you know what I'm saying? It changes the dynamic of things.
I mean,
go ahead.
For me, it doesn't. I mean, and you know, we discussed on the show before, I'm a person of faith, and if there were UFOs out there, I wouldn't question anything about the Bible. The Bible doesn't say anything about the United States. It doesn't say anything about South America. It doesn't say anything about Antarctica. It doesn't say anything about a lot of things. It's specifically about a certain place on Earth at a certain period of time. It's a historical reference to that. You know what I mean? And so the fact that it doesn't mention Venus and Mars and Jupiter and everything else is irrelevant to me in my faith. Okay. I mean, it doesn't shake up anything at all for me.
Well, here's the kicker. I'm not saying for you. Mm-hmm. We all know that they are religious fanatics.
Die hard Bible.
I mean, you say something that's anti anything, and I'm coming down on you with brimstone. Matter of fact, you should not even be wearing that T-shirt with lipstick. That's how serious they are.
Some people are very. I mean, but even your most religious zealots, even the different, you know, bodies of work that you just named, the Quran and the, you know, the religious scripts and everything else, they are, if I'm not mistaken, all of them are about a specific place at a specific time. They generally speak about how humans should be with other humans, generally, right? And they really don't get into the other stuff. The Bible actually acknowledges stars and things like that. So we know that there's something in outer space, and the explanation is fairly simple. He says there's a lot of things that are beyond man's comprehension. Right. You will not understand unless you are God. And if I'm not mistaken, the Quran says some version of that. Everything says you're a little person in a big universe. You will not understand the things beyond your comprehension. I mean, you couldn't handle it, right? So
this is where I think that's why we should have that show, because for people who are, because there are people out here who just, you know, I've been studying about UFOs and you know, and I, you know, have this past experience. I think why it's such a shocker is because if you are, I seen a movie. The movie was supposed to be based on a real live experience that took place in Alaska. And in the movie, she's being abducted. Like, this is the footage. And she's like, oh my God. And she's praising God, like trying to call on God for help. And the alien answered back, said, there is no God. And that movie was so scary to me when that alien answered back, said, there is no God. What the hell? I had to shut that shit off. Because for me, when you think of the unknown, it doesn't. The Bible does not per se talk about the unknown. And does it challenge somebody's faith? I would say it to the people, some of the people that I know, it would challenge their faith. Maybe not for you, because at the end of the day, you know about this dimension. You don't know about no other dimensions. You know about being here in the physical body. But if something zapped your ass up over here and put you back over here, you go, what the hell? Well, where is my God? You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that it would challenge, because we just don't know. Now, once I said I wasn't going to go too deep into the rabbit hole,
you started to go deep into the rabbit hole. But you only stuck to one piece of the rabbit hole, which was the religious part. Not everybody believes in religion.
That is true too. That is true. So Cash Money says, about a week ago, I read an article where the Navy said a UFO outran them. They don't know if it was aliens, but it was too fast for them to catch up. It's even also scary because I was hearing somewhere, and I definitely will talk about it once I do the research on it, that supposedly there was some type of ship out there and the Russians shot at it, but this thing shot back at the Russians and they were out of there like, whoo. And with that being said, that's what triggered the response from the government this is a national security measure. And I said, you know what would also shake up? If you want racism to end, if you want sexism to end, if you want all these isms to end, let something be attacking all of us at the same goddamn time.
But the crazy thing, but you want to know what? Again, going down a rabbit hole, but not going down a rabbit hole with this UFO stuff. In my personal opinion, I don't care what topic it is. If you look at the way the government operates and have always operated, they already knew. Back when Reagan was president, there was an actual discussion. Past that, there were discussions. There are actual documents that they're only going to give us so much because of things like this, because of the challenge. It's a UFO, unidentified flying object, right? Mm-hmm. Something that is more advanced than we are. Mm-hmm. We are UFOs to them too. Their technology supposedly again is more advanced than we are. They don't need to be scared of us, but look at the movies that they put out. Again, I go way past everything. Liz, and I get
a word.
Listen, no, because you have, what I am a very spiritual person. I operate differently than outside of a religion. So I don't look towards a Bible to give me everything I need. I get my energy from other places. I get my downloads from other places. Again, to me, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know they've had contact with others outside of what we think we know. Mm-hmm. They've been here. They are here.
When I made the statement, Liz, and said you want to end racism, you want to end sexism and all the other isms, let something be attacking us all at once. And you was like, I was curious to know what you was thinking.
I disagree. I do. I think that some things are so deeply embedded in some people. I was watching a show the other day, and I mean, granted, TV is fiction. We all know, right? But on the show, and this is one of those shows that they pull a lot of their things right from the headlines. And this guy is in the emergency room. He is dying, and what's the word I'm looking for? Not transgender, but
lesbian, gay, bisexual.
Oh, he doesn't. Okay.
They came over to help him. You know what I mean? And he got up dying and punched dude straight in the face, or punched the person helping him, like knocked him out, knocked him over, everything. He was willing to die, but don't you touch me. You know what I mean? And if you are in a situation, you are dying, you're in a hospital, and you're still don't you touch me, you're going to die over your bigotry. Like some people are willing to die for their bigotry.
That's true.
So I aliens be damned. I think and kind of tying it into faith and what you were saying, Ty, in terms of being a spiritual person, like again, aliens be damned. I think most of us believe in some form of angels and demons, right? And a demon could be in front of you, which is another type of alien, right? It's something that we identify, we put into a box or anything like that. A demon could be in front of you, and you can still turn around and go, I hate that group of people. So I don't know what difference it's gonna.
I didn't look at it through those lenses. I just felt to myself, it was funny because I went on some type of eco tour. Yes, people, I like plants and trees. And I went on an eco tour, and they were saying like when there's a forest fire, all the animals will huddle together in like a log or some type of cave, just whatever to protect themselves. So like the fox that would normally eat the bunny rabbit, and the whole chain food thing goes, mm-hmm. They're all together. And for that 1 or 2 days where the forest is burning, no one eats anybody. No one is like, hey, I see you over there, you looking tasty or whatever. Everybody's just normal and calm. As soon as the fire ends and somebody peeks out like, okay, it's ready to go, that's when we go back to nature. So I was thinking to myself, like, maybe that would bring us together, because we have a common enemy. But no, that is true what you said. There are
some high hopes to mankind. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something.
Oh no!
These people will throw out the baby for the bathwater. They used to say that you would throw out the baby with the bathwater. These people will throw out the baby for the bathwater. I mean, just look at our country right now. Once upon a time, it was a thing to be a patriot. Like no matter what, you could, America unite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the hell unites us now? Like I hate to make everything a political thing, but think about that. You could literally have somebody saying, you know what, I hate the Constitution. I don't want to do this anymore, this, that, and the third. And if that's your guy, you're riding with them. That's not American at all. I mean, if we don't have that, what do we have? I don't know that aliens are the uniting force here.
Well, something that would be a little bit scary, I would think, is I think our political system would be completely trashed, because there are people that do look for the police, and they do look for the military, and they do look for some type of saving grace. So if there was something to harm us and to affect us, and the government, quote unquote, cannot help us, what the hell do we do? Who do we run to? I know we do a lot of prepping shows, and we have in the past. That was something that I
Liz.
Well, no. And just to give a shout out to Specs, I hope you feel better, Specs. But I remember having a conversation with Specs, like, okay, if we ever had to talk about that, how do we prepare for something that we do not even know? You know what I'm saying? Because of course it's always about survival, it's always about this, it's always about prepping and blah, 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 blah. But that would make a person go crazy. You would have panic in the streets. When they made the show with Orson Welles, The War of the Worlds, there was no TV and no cameras and none of this. It was just plain radio. And he's talking about this every night, about the aliens are coming, they're taking over. People were literally killing their families in bed with shotguns because they're like, the aliens ain't getting my family, da 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 da. Right. I mean, so you have these fanatics, you have people who are just going to go way over the top the way there was. And especially if you don't have the government to protect you. And we already have that we don't already trust the government to begin with,
I don't trust them.
And going with this hypothetical, right? The aliens are here, right? It's that same government that they're going to look out for the people they want to look out for first, right? There are bunkers for everything, right? There's the bomb shelters, there's the end of the world shelters, there's the, everything else. Who do you think is getting a ticket? Mm-hmm. Like, people laugh about Noah's Ark. We have Noah's Ark everywhere. There is a shelter under your house you don't know about. You know what I mean? That is a different take on. People are very, very literal, right? Noah's Ark just basically said this man went out and prepared for the end of the world, and that him and whoever was on the boat with him survived. And that's all it means. That's what a bunker is. A bunker is an ark, right? And theoretically. And so who do you think is getting tickets to these bunkers? Who do you think is getting in? Well, with COVID last year, they let how many millions of people die across the world? Your boy got it and he was cured in 2 days. Like, they help who they want to help.
Girl, but with that being said, though, we can take any type of national emergency, from earthquakes and hurricanes to this, anything where we had to prep for. And we all knew that when Texas was getting hit with that severe weather, we knew it was coming. I mean, Cruz.
Look what leadership did.
So we knew what leadership was going to do. We knew that already. But the next question is, what do we do? Because that's why I've always watched those little zombie movies and those things, because even though you had that emergency, it's how the fuck do you deal with people? Because guess what? If I know that you got the guns over there and I know you got the food, I'm coming for that ass, because guess what? Me and mine got to survive. And I didn't prep properly. So at the end of the day, when it comes to these topics here, I don't dwell in it so much because I do have to go ahead and I still have to pay my bills and I still have to do this. But if the shit went down, believe me, Jeff Bezos is trying to go to the moon next week. The Tesla guy, whatever his name is,
Elon Musk,
yeah. I mean, all of them packing their bags and leaving. we
ain't asking why. Again, look, they got
billionaire problems.
Huh?
Billionaire problems.
And we living down here with broke people problems. Yeah, right.
But that's the thing I'm saying. But it's true, because at the end of the day,
where are you going?
That is so true. Those billionaire problems, they're starting colonies and all types of stuff. Where the fuck are these white people going? And where are they?
Listen. I don't trust the government. They know what's going on. You want to know? Look, we down here with "Do You Believe in UFOs" on our live stream. They packing. Talk about yeah.
But
let me know what y'all got to say about it.
Yeah.
But that's the bad thing. I tell Kashim all the time, I'm like, yo, as much as we talk about reparations and what we need to have, that is probably the main reason, like, yo, we need to get some money. Because when these niggas is, excuse me, when these people, when these people are ready to pack their bags and bounce, we're going to be huddled together like
we talk about reparations. How we know they ain't stole something from them? You know what I'm saying? And they want their stuff back. I don't believe in.
Let's read one of the comments. So, go ahead, Todd.
Two things. A friend of mine asked me if I believed in aliens. I said, yep. He said, why don't they come down and talk to us? I asked, have you ever visited a zoo? He said, yes. I asked if he felt more advanced than a monkey. He said, yes. I asked if he ever felt the need to talk to it. I'm not sure they would need to speak with us. They wouldn't see us as equal, but obviously.
Well, and that is very true. A lot of times I would hear that. No, I would literally honestly hear that. Like, well, why is it that they're not making themselves here and this and this? Like, we are some dumb ass people. Like, we fight over the most trivialist things. They probably looking at us like, should we help them? Should we not?
No, they handling this. We don't got to go to war or nothing, yo. Just
we're gonna destroy our own selves.
We are our own disease, pretty much.
I mean, but it's so sad. I mean, and I would definitely love to hear if anybody on that's listening, if they believe in UFOs or not. I'm very curious. I mean, it's a conversation that I think that needs to be had. At one point in my time, I'm like, nah, do we need to? But in all honesty, I seen a documentary where there were actors like Ben Affleck and some other people that were on a documentary, and they said that they found out that the CIA works on movie sets. And I was like, the CIA working on movie sets? What the hell is that about? And the reason why the CIA was working on movie sets because there were certain things that they wanted implemented in the actual movie. And even though you could be the director, Liz, and I know that I gave you a script and I said this, I want to be on the set to make sure that you're good with it, blah, 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 blah. And Ben Affleck came out of his mouth and he made the statement of saying that he believes that the reason why they're there is to slowly just kind of drop nuggets on America or the world so that we could get kind of desensitized. So when the shit does pop off, it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you tell your daughter or your son when you see something like that? Oh, go
ahead. I just want to say this circles back to what I stated originally, that there was documentation that that there was more going on. It goes way past what the actors and actresses are saying. They really do have this documentation where I know you're laughing, Liz, where they have worked together. Again, everything. I believe what I believe. I'm not getting caught slipping. I don't care what nobody says. I
see your eyes going back and forth, Liz.
I look at it.
Well, okay, here we go, right? So I will say this. Mm-hmm. On the other side, long before there was the QAnon people, there were always like the InfoWars people and and they believe in the lizard people and the everything else. I honestly feel sometimes that people use things like this to scapegoat, right? It's easier to go with, it must be those damn lizard people controlling things because it couldn't be my government, right? Or it must be those aliens that are making things so bad, because it couldn't be my God, or because it couldn't be, and so you just need something to scapegoat. And and a lot of those people will latch onto that and lead people in that way. And I'm not, by any stretch am I saying that's anybody on this panel, but I'm saying that this theory has been around for a long time, right? And it's the aliens that's making everybody gay. I've heard everything about the aliens, I have heard so much. And usually it's just because, in my belief anyway, a lot of times they just can't come up with a better explanation. So let's go with unidentified something. You know what I mean? And that's just the easiest way to scapegoat it. And so not to say that has any bearing on whether or not aliens are real or not, but just the same people that want you out there believing about the lizard people and all of that, it's more than likely those people know less about anything than me or you. And it's just easier to go, it must be the aliens, so
it's interesting because, and this is not for you, Liz. This is not for you. This is not, no. And I say this is not for my sister. My sister is a pastor.
I already know where.
No. Because some people are really, this is my belief system and everything. But I find it for myself when I listen in that it does touch upon the subjects alone. It opens up doorways. It opens up talks that people just don't want to have. I mean, because we can go down that rabbit hole. We can start talking about dimensions. We can start talking about the Atlanteans. We can start talking about this and this and this and this. And we're going all this way. And people are like, what the hell? I can say this: when an individual comes to me and says that they've had this experience, I will never knock somebody's experience because you hold that truth. I wasn't there. I'm not going to doubt you and be like, girl, you a lie. No, that's what you experienced. You said you did this at the ice cream shop. That's exactly what happened to you. Do people lie? Yes. Does the lie kind of get mixed in with the truth sometimes? Yes. Are there some crazy fuckers out there? Yes. All these things are true. But at the same time, I know I personally have my own experience. Just like right now, we had a conversation. I mean, of course, it's not October. If we had a conversation about ghosts, do you believe in ghosts? We'll all have some type of experience. I remember that day I smelled grandma's perfume and I turned around and, so we all have this shit, you know what I'm saying, that we've had to experience. It is a conversation that I think that needs to be had because at the end of the day, regardless if it's real, it's not real, we still have to prepare. Preparation is key. If something was not real, you say, well, why do I need to prepare for something that's false? Because people believe in it and people act on their emotions. And it's not the actual issue at hand, it's how people handle shit. People panic. I just that when Orson Welles came out with the story of about the aliens were attacking and this, that, and the third, people were killing people. I don't want anybody raising no gun at me because the aliens will come. I gotta save you. No. I mean, you just gotta prepare. I mean, shit is going on. It's some crazy times.
If they're talking about it, there's a reason why they're talking about it. And again, like I understand everybody has their own flow with things. I'm gonna stick to my story. Yeah. I believe in what I believe in for very specific reasons, and it's not to knock anybody. Again, I am who I am. There's bottom line.
Yeah. So it never says in the Bible that God only created life on earth.
That's what I said. Right.
Well, well, here's the kicker with that. And even I challenge people who are religious. So when you hear of a miracle took place and, somebody died and came back to life, and they said, I seen the light, I seen the path or the tunnel. You'll have actual religious people doubt the miracles, don't want to talk about certain things. You can start peeling back those layers, when it comes to religion and Bibles, and they'll start talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls and giants and angels and the fallen ones.
That's all in there.
And then they're like, I don't want to talk about it. So like on one end it exists, but then you don't want to talk about it because it don't exist. Like it's all confusing. Like what the hell?
Or how people interpret it. Again, you read something and they interpret it the way they want to interpret it and market it in their own agenda.
Yeah, I believe in many things are possible. Yeah, he does. And then we have War of the Worlds. Yes, that was the actual book that he was reading from, and he did it through the radio where And that then, when that actual thing took place and it was like a mass suicides that were happening, the government decided that we will not put out emergency things like that. And what I mean, if I'm not articulating it correctly, is they decided like it's like a mass hysteria. So right now, you know, wait a second, we have this stuff in the past that when people went crazy, we don't want to just put stuff out there because people are going to panic and shit themselves. So that's exactly why, because of this thing here, the World of Worlds, they decided not to do that. Thank you for getting that clarified for the name here. The how you pronounce
Nephilim?
it? Yes. Are the children of the angels and men who came from the giants and such. Yeah, we can go there.
Nobody wants me to go.
And I promise, Liz, that when we go there, we're not going to have nobody that's disrespectful talking about people's religion. We're not going to do that day. Because that's the thing. Even though we believe in different things, we're not going to disrespect nobody. You know, everybody has a shot and everything. Just to
I believe.
Yeah. Last topic, and I'm glad we're able to hit. Boom, boom, boom. That's so cool. The last topic.
She is into herself today. Liz, it's not just me, right? You see it.
She's firing on all cylinders today. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Because there were so many little things to talk about. Like, oh my God. So wait a second. We have one more extra cake. Oh yeah. Thumbs up. Yes, we're going to talk about this. Yes. Okay. These sisters here is awoke. Okay. Let me talk. The last topic I wanted to touch on was something that I just heard. Samuel L. Jackson awarded an honorary Oscar. I found that so interesting. Hollywood icon Samuel L. Jackson was awarded an honorary Oscar by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts. The 72-year-old actor will be handed the accolade next year in January after the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science confirmed this Thursday that the Governor Award will be returning. With that being said, a lot of times he was nominated for Pulp Fiction. We know Samuel L. Jackson in like 1,000 movies. He's in everything. But I wanted to bring this up and just talk about it just briefly because do you feel that we need accolades from, I guess, other entities to be represented? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to phrase the phrase
I know
that.
What you're saying? I'm all the way there with you. But I mean, it's one of those: if a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, that it fall. I mean, if the powers that be don't acknowledge you, do you exist at all? You know what I mean? And, yes. So let's put it that way, right? And no, I don't think we need that. I personally, I don't. I think that's one thing that we actually get right. Yay! So we have certain people that, no matter who they're recognized by, we recognize them. You say to me tomorrow, Omar Epps is in a new movie, I'm there. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't know what awards he's won or hasn't won or anything. I do believe Morris Chestnut, Lord, don't get me started. Like, you know, you say his name, I'm already there. And again, I have no idea what awards he's gotten or hasn't gotten or anything, right? And I mean, and there's Halle Berry and there's other people too, right? You just say their names and we're there. You say they have a movie in the theaters and we're there. You know what I mean? If it's coming out on the Hallmark Channel, we're there, right? So do we need an Oscar, a Tony? No. I mean, I'm happy for them when they do get that recognition. I mean, good for them. But I think that they've been long since getting recognition from the community, and they can start with a thank you speech for that.
Yeah. I find it unfortunate. It's interesting because No Man's Land, it won a Best Picture Oscar, and Frances McDormand, she won for Best Actress Award. And I didn't really see the movie while Cash was watching it, but I kind of seen blips and pieces, and I was like, "Is this movie about poor white people going through poor white problems?" Like I didn't know what was happening. It just looked kind of dusty and barefoot people and the matted dress. I didn't know what was going on. And I mean, I didn't know. I mean, there was some dust. There was some dust flying. And And they was singing by the band with the banjo, like, you know, with the fire. I don't know what was happening. And but this won Best Picture. And I just want to know, and maybe you guys know, who are these people at the headquarters to make these votes to see who gets the Best Picture? And
they're bought. Movie? They are bought. It's bought. It's bought. It's.
I didn't know that. Okay.
your agent, your label, you know, in music, it's a widely known secret, especially in music.
Okay, I didn't know none of this. Okay.
Yeah. So your film company, your agency that you work with, your everything else, they buy it for you because then they can sell you for that much more to the next auction. I mean, that's kind of how that works.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly was thinking to myself, I mean, she's a decent actress for the things that I've seen her in. I mean, this movie looked very dusty, so I didn't know what was happening. I mean, I just couldn't get it. He sat and watched the movie. I was just like, It was just about a whole bunch of white, dusty people, and they was going through problems. I mean, I don't have nothing against white folks, but this movie was talking about the dusty people. That's all I know what was going on. I don't like dirt, so that's when I seen it. And I was like,
"Wait a minute!
I want to get a broom and a pen."
Wait a minute!
Yeah, I need to get you another adjective. That's what I need. I need a different.
I just don't. No, see the movie. No. If you look at the movie, it was a lot of dust.
Liz.
I don't know if it was in Arizona or something, but it was a lot of dust happening. I just don't know. I don't get it, but I think that's Samuel L. Jackson. I don't mean to make it sound funny. I just don't like dust.
We got it. Yeah, we got it.
Sorry. You see the movie, guys. See the movie.
I will reserve my judgment for.
And let us know from 1 to 5 how dusty is. That's going to be our new category. How dusty is the movie?
It was. Every time he was watching the movie. Every time I would come in, it was just dust flying and matted hair, and people didn't have shoes. I didn't know what was going on. Things were broken. And I just didn't know. I didn't know. How did that win Best Picture?
Barefoot and banjos. Got it. Barefoot, dusty banjos. I got you, Kia. I got it. I got it.
But it won Best Picture. And see, look, Melissa said not sounding good. It wasn't. I don't know. I don't know what was happening. And let's take this last comment real quick. I feel like I need a bar soap just listening about the time.
I need a bar soap for listening about the time. For real.
It's been a long time since we got the ivory soap. Yo, let me tell you.
I'm just so serious. It really was a dusty flick. And I didn't watch it. I didn't want to be a part of it. And then did you see her in acceptance speech when she won her Oscar? She came in with dust balls. Like she looked crazy. I'm like, this is how you I'm just saying. Look, it's not what Akia says. No.
Poor
See, I didn't say that. I don't know. They was poor. From what Cash was telling me, they chose to be poor. Like the one woman chose to be poor or something. I'm like, how do you choose to be poor? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was the dust that affected them. Jesus. But no, I really
Melissa would help.
I really hope. No. Samuel L. Jackson is definitely a great actor. He has done tremendous work in the film industry. I love the fact that I love the fact that he has a story to tell. He was a crackhead and he changed his whole life. He's 72 years old.
Things sound like that.
I'm just saying. I'm just very happy.
I get it. It's just.
I'm very happy that he's getting an honorary Oscar. They should go ahead and do a little more. Let's see here. White people. I don't know about it.
They can be crazy and nasty, apparently. Yes, got it. All right.
I'm not saying
from 1 to 5. What? That's how we're gonna rate movies now. From 1 to 5, how dusty. Thank you.
But no, just to wrap up this show, thank you guys. I mean, a lot of times, especially in the past, we brought on guests and different things. I want to say the reason why I haven't brought on guests at the moment was just because it seems like every minute something new was popping, boom, boom, boom. And just as much as I'm like, hey, this is a good topic to talk about. Then something else triggers in this. So having these kind of roundtable discussions just on what's going on is definitely awesome. Want to say once again, what's the shirt you got real quick? Liz, let's talk about it.
Femininity is my superpower. This goes back to a couple weeks ago. We were talking about, women kind of knowing their place. Let's not be ashamed of our value, ladies. Femininity is a superpower. Those that do not have it only wish they knew what it takes to possess it. And I personally love it. I think that I am a superhero. I think all the moms out there are. I think all the women that experience struggles that only women can experience and make it through like it's nothing every day. I don't think that there's anything wrong with knowing our place. So I just wanted to put that out there. You guys know where to find it. It is grownhonestconcepts.com.
Yes.
How much I love and appreciate the support. And I can't wait to tell you guys who won the scholarship. I have a winner, and I will announce it soon. I just want to make sure I have everything lined up, and I want to present it properly.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And then we got 2 more comments. He gets paid. He doesn't need an award. That is so true. That is so true. He does get paid. He does not need an award. But as long as he knows that he has a huge fan base, we love him so much. And then hell yes, femininity is the superpower. Thank you guys. Enjoy yourself. Definitely turn up. It's still your birthday right now.
Yeah, it is. I got
a song dedication for you.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe to our page. Love you guys. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.